Hey everyone, I'm going to bring you guys the basic butcher today. What the cuts I'm going to show are how to get the steak section out of the rear here, the round steaks, the football roast, round roast right here in front. Pretty much taking the back straps out, and I'll show you guys how to remove the shoulder, because all we do is just debone it, take out the sinew and the fat, and I pretty much just grind the whole things on the shoulders. So pretty much we're just going to do the basic how to debone and get the main steaks and the roast off this deer on this video, so stay tuned. Alright, first cut I usually do is I get the roast. It's the round roast, football roast, or however you want to say it. It looks like a little football. It's right here, and what I do with this is throw it in the crock pot, do seasonings with roast, carrots, potatoes, or I'll do Italian beef seasoning, and it shreds real nice, and it's awesome Italian beef. So I find the knuckle on the bone, you can feel it, and you cut in right below it, and when you hit the bone, you turn and follow the bone down. And then you can see it just, there's a layer of sinew right here and fat, and you just trim that right off, and that is your football roast, round roast. I'll trim a little of this off on the outside, the silver skin and stuff, just to make it look nicer, but you really don't need to. But it makes it a little more chewy if you don't. So we'll set this off over here to get cleaned up later, and then we'll come on this next one right here and do the same exact thing. You find the knuckle, you cut in, touch the bone, follow that bone down, and then I just run my fingers. You can feel and pull that layer right off of it, and then it peels right out. And then again, I'll just trim up this silver skin and stuff. So now we'll have the two roasts out, and then I'll come in and I'll make a cut straight in line pretty much with this joint, straight down to the bone, and on this side to the bone. And now I will do the same exact thing. You can kind of, it's deep in there, it's about an inch in. There's a nub of a bone that sticks out, so I'll stay in just about an inch. I'll make the same cut down to that bone on this side, and then I'll make sure it cuts all the way through onto this side. And then what I do is I just roll the deer, or the chunk of meat, in towards the deer like this, and then you just follow that bone. And now what this is your round steak that you see in the store that the bone is in when they run it through a bandsaw. So what I'll do is, there's a gland in here that needs to come out, and then the silver skin all the way around I'll take off, and then we'll slice this 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, 1 inch, however thick you like your steaks. So again, we'll put that on the table to get cleaned up here in a minute. Now I'll take out this next one. Again, now you can kind of see on the inside view here, we're going to come in and cut down to this joint right in the corner all the way. Then we're going to do the same exact thing on the inside. Again, we're going to roll it so you can see the bone, and it'll roll completely around as you cut. And again, that, now we're going to slice, after we take all this silver skin off, clean this up, and there's a gland, like I had said in here, that we're going to peel this open and get that out. And then, as you can see, that's going to be a nice steak when you chunk that up. So now, of course, peel it open if you haven't taken the inner loins out during gutting, which we did. And then those you just peel. You can take them out pretty much with your fingers. I'm going to come on this back side, and now the same thing as for the back straps. You can see the hips. That's pretty much where they start. You can feel, just like filleting a fish, the backbone. You can travel straight down the backbone. You can see where the shoulder muscles start in. That's pretty much where your back strap ends, but I'll cut down a little further and then cut across. And then you pretty much, just like again filleting a fish, work the back strap right off the bone. When you get to about this point here where you can see it's separated, you can start feeling with your finger, and you can start just working it so you can leave a bunch of the fat layer right on the deer if you want. And then I just work my knife straight down in, around, and now that the back strap pulls straight out, you can see we'll fillet the silver skin and the fat right off the back of that, and then you can do a million different things you want with the back strap. As everybody knows, I personally, I'll cut them about a 1/2 inch thick, 3/4 thick, put a piece of jalapeno in there with a chunk of cream cheese, wrap them in bacon, and throw them on the grill. We'll show you guys how to take the silver skin off that here in a second. There is your second back strap. And now that is pretty much everything for steaks and roasts that I do on a deer. I'll chunk these however I like. I'll even do bigger chunks, then you can do them on the grill however you want. These 2 roasts here, and then these 2 steak sections. And pretty much now I will go through. There's a lot of solid meat right in here that I'll chunk out and grind. I'll take out these bigger chunks all through the legs here for grind. And then the shoulders and neck, I pretty much do grind on. Now as for the shoulders, there is not a single bone that connects this shoulder to the deer, which a lot of people don't realize that. And all you do is you literally just follow the armpit, and as you cut, and that entire shoulder comes right off the deer. It is just pretty much like suction that keeps that thing against the deer. And that entire thing, there's a ridge right here. I'll bring my knife in, follow the bones, take this completely all off the bones. Then I just go through, and they're each little muscle sections. I'll clean all the silver skin off and the fat off, and pretty much that's all grind, for me anyway. So again, just open up the armpit. And that entire shoulder is right off. So now again, I'll chunk all that up. And then now, as you can see for the carcass wise, like I was saying about up here, all this chunk meat, the ribs, you can cut out the ribs if you like ribs. They're actually pretty good, but there's just very little meat on them. So I don't mess with the ribs too much. Every once in a while I'll take them off if I feel like eating ribs. I'll take off this brisket meat, and I'll chunk off all this neck meat, and that's all pretty much grind. I'll make sausage sticks, sausage, burger, stew meat, everything out of the grind. So that is pretty much the basic cuts, and now we're gonna go and trim everything up. And alrighty, we're gonna show you guys how to clean up this steak section and get these steaks chunked up. First off, I'm gonna take and just pretty much make it cut in and just get the silver skin and dried skin from where it was hanging off. And then, like I was saying about that gland, you cut in, and you can see this chunk right here. It's a big gland that they'll use to mark. It's hard as a rock, and if you actually cut it open, you can see there's like a, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, you can see a little gland inside that hard chunk of fat. So I'll take that, we'll go into grind. A couple of these little chunks of meat off of here, we'll go to grind. And that will get thrown in the scrap. So now I'll take the other side and then this fat layer, silver skin layer, now this is ready to be staked. So what I'll do is, a lot of times I'll take this and throw it in the freezer and get it just a hair firm, so by the time I'm done chunking up like the shoulders, it'll be nice and firm, so it's not as slimy and moving around as it is. But now you get it to where it stands up, and I take a big long knife now, and I'll just cut a quick little squared up cut to square that up, and that goes in the grind. So now I have a nice square cut to start off of. I prefer about anywhere between the 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch on the thickness of the steak. So now when you grab that, that is the exact steak you see in a butcher store, minus the round leg bone that is right there. They call it the round steak. And then a lot of times they'll even have this football roast cut in there, and you'll see that round bone, and it's surrounded by another flat chunk of football shaped meat, and that's this round steak, or the round roast back there. So that right there is a nice perfect grilled steak section. And then I'll cut in, do it again and again, and like I said, you just sit there and stack those up, 2 per package, 3 per package, 4 per package, however many you want. So now you just work this piece of meat and keep cutting your steaks out. Alrighty, now I'm going to just quickly show you how I take the silver skin off of a backstrap. Again, it's pretty self-explanatory, but a lot of guys, they'll ask. So I just make a little slit right here on the thick fat side. It's just like filleting off the skin now on a fillet of fish. I just reach in, work the knife, and then straight on down. Now that silver skin's off, and you got a nice clean back strap that I come in and I'll trim up this little extra layer right there, comes off. That'll go into the grind. And that is your perfectly clean backstrap. You can chunk it how you'd like, however, leave it whole, do whatever you like to it. I personally, I'll square up an end, and then I either will do nice fryers where they're about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 thick. You can grill those, wrap them bacon, do what you like. You then can come in and do the same, but don't cut all the way through. And then now you have a nice butterfly backstrap. You can leave it chunked, you can leave it whole. That is all up to you. That right there is how you clean it up, and a couple of the ideas on what you can do with it. Alrighty everyone, and that's pretty much your basic cuts on a basic butcher. You got your steaks, you got your football roast, your 2 football roasts, your back straps, -1 because it is being cooked as we speak, and you have your stew meat, canned meat, grind, sausage, everything else you want. Even, like I said, you can take the neck meat, do rolled roasts, but to me, there's just too much sinew and fibrous tissue between the layers of all the different muscles. It's just a little too chewy for me. I like these kind of roasts a little better. It's solid meat. So that goes into the grind, but like I said, pretty much now we just got to clean up and debone and silver skin and fat the grind, and we are ready for burger. So hope you guys enjoy and learn some cuts on the steaks and the roasts and where they come from. And if you guys would like, comment below on the video, and we will do a little further on how we make some sausages and stuff like that if you guys would like to see that. So please hit subscribe and comment below. Thanks.